Hey everyone, how you doing? Okay, I'm in Adobe Lightroom 5 here, working with the Cinema DNG RAW files. The reason why I use Adobe Lightroom 5 for my RAW editing is because my system can't handle DaVinci. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people like you have older computers, say older iMac, older MacBook Pro, etc., to where you don't have enough graphics card or video card to handle the data. So for me, my solution is Adobe 5 for the raw files. Now these are all uncompressed 12-bit. So here's some of the stuff I shot back in August, which are pretty much already on my timeline here. Here's some daytime stuff which is laid out in the library so far. So we're going to go to development here, and as you can see, I pretty much already color corrected for the most part here. But what we'll go ahead and do is we'll reset it real quick here. Okay. Alright, so everything's reset to the raw mode. Most part, I'll make sure everything's set again. Okay. So obviously I have tone or auto. A lot of times I'll put in auto for the most part. It tends to correct some of it. So here's what we'll do. Of course, white balance here, which is cool. You have auto, daylight, cloudy, regional auto, which is nice. So what I'll go from here is you have exposure, you have your contrast, your highlights, shadows, white, blacks, clarity, vibrance, saturation. So it being a raw file, you can get very creative with it. But the only downside is hard drive space. It will eat up your hard drive like no tomorrow. So if you're going to shoot raw, especially uncompressed with a Blackmagic Cinema camera, you're going to be spending a lot of money on hard drives. So obviously you got to think of the post-production side when you do raw workflow. Now, raw is a big benefit because it allows you to get more creative in the shadows and highlights and really take control of your overall image. So here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and play with it a little bit here. Set my highlights up a little more. Now right now I believe this is ISO 800, which is native for the Blackmagic Cinema camera. And I have a Zeiss ZF Prime on here. I want to say probably my 50 millimeter because the Blackmagic has a 2 point times crop factor to it. I'm gonna probably warm it up a little bit too, which would be nice. For about 7 to 8,000 kelvins temp wise. And actually, when the color changes, you'll see the sky, you see the buildings, and you'll see that 7-Eleven sign as well. So shadows, we can definitely pull a lot. See how across the shadows, we can bring shadows back, and you'll see the detail, in particular like the trees on the left and right here, as I open up all the way, to where it's not over saturating the highlights for the most part. So it's a nice even blend, which I like. Probably bump up the clarity a little bit more, increase the highlights. Of course, down here you have your tone curvature you can mess with as well, which is nice. Um, so it's pretty nice. So we'll head over to some nighttime stuff here real quick. All right, and we'll choose this one. Now this one here, you'll see I don't get infinity out of my lens because when I first got the lens, I had a bad adapter on my camera. So as you can see, you'll be able to make out the bridge and stuff here up until probably about this point here, and all the rest of it is not in focus because of the bad adapter ring I had for the lens. So which that has been corrected. So we'll go ahead and mess with this nighttime footage here. This is, I believe, ISO 800 as well. Don't remember the f-stop on my lens per se. So we'll go ahead and reset it here. Give you an idea of what it looks like. I believe my Kelvin setting on this one was 3200. So right now I can switch back to 5000 kelvins as shot. So we'll switch to auto and see what it does. So it warms it up a little bit. It's around 3650 kelvins. And put as shot. So we leave as shot and play with it from there. I'm just going to play with the contrast. I'll put the highlights a little bit too as well. Bring down the hair. So you see, it's kind of like a Collateral, Miami Vice type warm look to it in a way. You know, Collateral is mostly a lot of kind of cool highlights in it. So it just shows you the power of RAW. So actually, I'm pushing the shadow detail here. As you see, it starts to get a little bit grain as well. So I don't want to push it too far because there's already grain structure built into the Blackmagic Cinema camera. So we'll leave it, we'll go down a little more, see what I can do. Okay. So you see we have a lot of flexibility here, especially if you look at the water as well. So a little clarity. Bring it down a little bit, maybe push it up, we'll see how it looks. You can see a lot more clarity in it as well, which is nice. The lights and stuff, and now it bounces off the water. But we'll leave for 0 for now. Go to vibrance here. Yeah, there you go. Actually, we'll just leave that normal for now. We'll go over to saturation as well here. Get all saturated. And we'll bring it all the way down. Kind of do a little black and white, which is nice. Not too bad. But we'll keep it at 0 here. Alright. So that's pretty much as far as nighttime footage goes. I should have some up here in a couple of weeks so you can guys look at as well on my website and stuff. But this is raw files. This is uncompressed 12-bit. So whether you're using daylight or nighttime like this, what you do is once you correct one image of it, you go back to your library here. I'm sorry, I messed up here. So once you correct that image, what you'll do is you'll go to, see, stand by, you'll go, bear with me 1 second. Okay, so you go to settings, copy your settings. All right, and of course you'll get your white balance, trim and color, all this stuff here, which I tend to just keep it all selected. So once you're done, hit copy, go back to library. What you do is you'll go ahead and actually select every single one of these images all the way down. And when you're done selecting all of your images, you'll go over to develop settings here. You'll go to paste settings. And once you do that, all that will change. So all your raw files will change just from correcting that one image. And then from there, you'll go and export it out as a TIFF. So you have to pick your folder, put your subfolder, file name. It'll probably be under your same file name in there as well, depending on where you put it, or you can change it. Also, you do examples, file naming. Video, I leave this how it is. Image format, JPEG, TIFF, DNG, original. I tend to put JPEG. Resolution 240. Everything else stays the same. After export, I do nothing. So I'll export it, and I'll come into Final Cut Pro 10, and we'll show you that next and how I do that. And then we'll cross convert over to the ProRes film log inside Blackmagic Cinema Camera.